Okay guys, today we're going to start section 2.5, subtracting integers on a number line. Okay, so make sure you write down this section in your notebook to start this notes and keep your notes nice and neat. Pause the video and when you have it written down, continue on. Okay, so just a quick review of positive and negative words. I've added two that I've seen come up in your practice work that we never talked about. So we know that up, to the right, forward, and rises are all positive words, and I've added two. Ascends. Ascends is used, for example, like going upward. So, for example, a scuba diver, when he or she ascends, they go up, okay, towards the surface. Okay, you can ascend up a flight of stairs, going up a flight of stairs. Okay, the opposite word to that is descend. So that would be a scuba diver. He or she is at the surface and they're descending or going down deeper into the ocean. Okay, the other two words that I want to talk about is east. East, if you look at a compass, is to the right. Okay, and we already talked about to the right as a positive word, so that's why east is usually considered positive. So if I said I walked 5 meters to east, it would be positive 5. We can see west is to the left, so if I said I walked 5 meters left, or sorry, to the west, it would be left or negative. Alright, so quick example of this, no need to write this down, just remember these key words for when you're doing word problems with positive and negative integers. Okay, so just a quick review. I descended down 3 stairs. So we're going downwards, so that would be negative, a change of -3. Descended. Okay, easy one. The elevator went up 4 floors. Up. Okay, so that's a positive 4. And here's a new one. I ran 6 kilometers to the west. So remember, west is to the left. And if you look on your number line, west points down towards the negative sign. So -6 kilometers would be how much you ran there. Okay? So first example, I want you guys to write this down. Pause the video, write it down. And then when you're ready, come on back and we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is just a quick little review. So use a number line to represent this sum. Okay? So +1 plus -3. Alright, so the way we use our number line, remember, and this is addition now. We're going to learn about subtraction after. We've done this a few classes ago. +1, okay, would be where we start. Alright, so we're starting at +1 here. And we're adding on -3. So negative is down this way. So we're going down 1, 2, 3. So where do we end up? On -2. What's our answer? -2. Okay, so just copy that down. And when you're ready, move on. Okay, just follow along for this one. No need to write it down. So use tiles to subtract. We done this last class in section 2.4, I believe. 2.4, yep. So we're going to use tiles to subtract. So we have +4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to take away -2. But do we have 2 tiles here to take away? Do we have 2 negative tiles? No, we have no negative tiles. So we're going to put up -2 tiles. 1, 2. But if we put them up to take them away, we also got to follow with positive. Okay? You can only add on pairs. Okay, so now we have -2. We're able to take those away. Alright, so if we take those away, we can scratch them out. So I'm going to scratch them out up here with my marker. Okay, so we're taking these away. What are we left with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. +6. 6 yellow tiles. So that would be our answer. Okay, so today we're going to do these type of problems. Okay, but instead of using the tiles, we're going to try the number line. So at the end of the day, some people might like using tiles more, and some people might like using the number line, and some people might like doing these in their head. Either way, I'm going to show you all the different strategies to use and how to represent these things with pictures, number lines, and tiles. And then after, you choose the best strategy you like. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to use number line to subtract. And first, before we start that, we need to copy down a few notes. So write this down. Some rules for positive and negative integers. Addition and subtraction. Okay, so add same signs is what we remember. So ASS, which spells out this word, which is a name for donkey. Okay, so just remember that. Okay, this is a fun little way to remember. You add same signs. So I want you to write out these notes. Okay, and write out your note here. This is the rule. This is the rule. When we come back, we're going to talk about these examples. So pause until you're ready. And when we're back, we're going to work through these examples together. Okay, so add same signs. What I mean by that, if we look here, we got 6 minus a negative 4. So in between here, what do we have? We got 2 negative signs. We have the minus and negative. So these are the same. So you remember, add same signs. You can break this down or condense it. You can make it into just one sign by remembering this rule. Add same signs. So what you do is you bring over your 6, your first number, 6. We have a negative sign. We can make that into a positive. We add the same signs. Okay, so you can take the two of those, and that's a rule in math. You can make it into an addition sign. Okay, we're not going to worry about the answers here. We're just going to look at our signs. Again here, 6. Okay, positive 6 plus a positive 4. You can make this easier. You can simplify this by remembering add same signs. Okay, ASS. So we bring over our 6, we have positive and positive. That can be made simpler by making it a positive 4. There we go. Let's look at this one here. Okay, carry over our 10. And then we have a negative sign. And then a minus sign and a negative sign. We can make that easier by making it into positive. Add same signs. So positive 1. Okay, here's another example. Well, we got a negative out front. Okay, we don't do anything with a negative out front. We're only working with signs in between. Okay, so we just bring over our negative 10. Okay, so we brought it over, and then we look in the middle. We have a minus sign and a negative sign. So add same signs. They're the same, so we write it out like that. Okay, I want you to write those notes in your exercise book and make sure you have those examples down. Don't move on until you have those down. Okay, so the next rule. So we talked about add same signs. And now, I want you to copy down subtract if different, or SID. And this is SID from the Ice Age movies. Okay, so subtract if different. Make sure you copy this down, and also our examples here. Okay, by now you should have the copy down. Okay, pause the video if you need another minute. So we look into our first example. So same number, 6 plus a negative 4. So we carry over our first number, and then we remember our rules. We have a plus and a negative. Okay, so the rule is SID, subtract if different. So we got different signs here. We got 2 different signs, so we just write that as subtract 4. Okay, we're just breaking these two things down. Alright, so this one looks pretty easy. Okay, and the reason it's written like this, some people forget that if a number is written without a positive or negative in front, it can be assumed that it's a positive. Okay, so we're just going to write that down. We got a negative and a positive. Those following this rule, subtract if different. It's going to be 6 minus 4, which is what we had first. It was already wrote in the simplified form, but that's where it comes from. That's why it is 6 minus 4. Now again, we carry over our 10. Then we have positive and negative. So those are different signs, so we put them together, and we remember subtract if different. So 10, these two become one sign, becomes negative, and we just bring over our 1. Okay, and this one we carry over our negative 10. We don't worry about that negative in front. Okay, negative 10, and then we got a positive and a negative. They are different signs, so we subtract if different. So minus 1. Okay, so that's just simplifying it because these problems look easier than these problems here. We're just writing it in an easier way to see. And you'll see doing our examples, these steps, these subtracting if different or adding the same signs, they're going to come into play now when we do our problems. Okay, if you have any questions, pause the video and ask a friend in your class or an older student. Or if I'm available, ask me any questions before you move on. If you're ready, just keep playing and we'll go on to our first example. Alright, so example, this is to be written down in your notes. Okay, use a number line to represent this difference. Okay, we're going to be using the number line now. Write this down, pause until you have it written down, then we'll talk about how you go about this. Okay, so use a number line to represent this difference. First step, okay, we're given positive 2 minus positive 2. Your first step is to go back to your rules and either add same signs or subtract if different. So if we look here, positive 2 minus positive 2. So we look at our signs in between. We got a negative and a positive. Those are different. So we're going to use what? We're going to use the donkey, ASS, or are we going to use SID? Okay? We're going to use SID because we're going to subtract if different. Okay, so we rewrite this in an easier version. So positive 2, okay, minus 2 equals question mark. Okay, so first step, write it down in a simplified way, in an easier way to read. And then we just come to our number line. Okay, positive 2. We start at positive 2. Here's my 0. Here's my positive 2. And that's our first number. And then we subtract 2. So here's positive 2. And subtract 2 means we go towards the negative or to the left or down. So 1, 2. Where do we end up? On the 0. So our answer is 0. Alright, make sure you write that down and you understand. Pause if you don't understand because you need to understand this before we move on. Okay, if you're ready, let's move on to an example. Okay, so you try this. Okay, you can use your number line, or you can do it in your head, but just remember, subtract if different. Alright, so pause the video, give this a try. When you're ready, come on back and see if you get the right answer. Okay, positive 7 minus positive 5. Our first step, okay, look at our symbols, our signs in between. Here we have a negative and a positive, so we're going to remember, we have different signs, we're going to remember subtract if different. So we're going to rewrite it as positive 7 minus 5. So to find our answer, okay, we start at positive 7. And we're going to take away 5. So taking away 5 means we're going towards the negative, taking away, going to the left. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where do we end up? We ended up on the positive 2. So 7 minus 5 is positive 2. Okay, next example. Write this down in your book. Minus 6 minus positive 3. So negative 6 subtract positive 3. Okay, so this time we got a negative number up front. Let's see how that affects our answer. So what's our first step? We always see if we got to use the donkey or SID. So let's see. We have negative number here, positive number here. So we have different signs. So we subtract if different. Okay? So that means that we make this negative and positive. We can simplify that to our negative. All right? What's our next step? Find the first number. Negative 6. Negative 6 is here. Okay? And then we're subtracting 3. So if we're subtracting, we're going down or to the left. So we start at negative 6 and we go 1, 2, 3. And we end up on negative 9. And that's our answer. Okay, write that down. Pause if you need a minute. If not, let's move on to an example that you will try. Okay, you try this one. Negative 4 subtract positive 5. Okay, so negative 4 subtract positive 5. What's our first step? Should we use a donkey or SID? What rule should we use here? Okay, and it's here. We have different signs, positive and negative. So subtract if different. So we can simplify this into negative 4, and then our negative and our positive here becomes a negative. Negative 4 minus 9. Okay, we come down on our number line. We find our first number, negative 4. And then we're going to subtract 5. So we're going to the left. So subtract 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where do we end up? Negative 9. So negative 9 is our answer. Perfect. Now another example. Example. Now this time we have positive number subtract the negative number. Okay, so write this down. Alright, so what's our first step? To check and see what rule we use to simplify these two signs here. So we got a negative and a negative. So we have the same signs this time. So what do we remember for same signs? Add same signs. ASS. So we remember the donkey. Add same signs. So this is going to become a positive 6. And then our two signs here, negative and negative, they're the same. So we add them. So positive 6 plus 3. So you guys can probably do that in your head. 6 plus 3. Alright, so if we start off with our 6 here, and now we're adding, so we're going to the right. So 1, 2, 3. So you could probably tell this from your heads, but it's confirmed by the number line. 6 plus 3 equals 9. Okay, so I want you guys, once you have this written down, pause if you need a minute. If not, I want you to try this one. Positive 2 minus negative 5. Try it on your own, and when you're ready, come on back and we'll work out the answer. Okay, so positive 2 minus a negative 5. What's our first step? What rule? First step is to see how can we simplify this? So we got negative and a negative in the middle here. So they're the same sign, so we can make that into a positive, because remember, add same signs. So that becomes positive 2 plus 5. To do that on a number line, okay, we start at our first number, which is a positive 2 up here. And then we're adding 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And where do we end up? 7. That's our answer. Does that make sense? 2 plus 5 is positive 7. So see how much easier it becomes? Like this looks a little bit complicated to some students because we have a lot of negatives going on, but you can simplify that if you remember these rules. Okay? And here's our last example. This time we have two negative numbers. So you have a negative number, subtract a negative number. So just copy down this example in your book. So negative 6 minus a negative 4. Our first step, what rule do we use? ASS or SID, S-I-D. Okay, so we look here, what's our two signs in the middle? Negative and negative, so we add same signs. Okay, so remember the donkey. So this becomes, we carry down our negative 6, and then our two signs in the middle can become positive. Okay, to find the answer, take our first number, negative 6, we start there. And then we're adding 4. So we start here, but we're going up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we end up on negative 2. So that's our answer. Okay? And the very last one that you guys will try is this one. Negative 7 minus negative 6. So just pause it, try it on your own, see what you get for an answer, and when we come back, we'll correct. Okay, so your first step, how can we simplify these two signs? Okay, they're the same. We have a negative and a negative, so we can add them. So negative 7, this becomes in the center here, this becomes a positive 6. All right, let's start with negative 7. We start here, and then plus 6. So we're going up to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we end up on negative 1. So that's our answer. Negative 1. Okay, if you got that, great, good job. If you never got that, just pause the video and ask a buddy for help, or ask me if I'm available to go over these problems with you. And last one for today, no need to write this down. We're just going to compare this process of using the number line, what we talked about today. We're going to compare that with the answer we get if we use color tiles. So we're going to do this first, and then we're going to use color tiles to check. Okay, so let's get my tiles ready. Okay, they're working. So let's see. Positive 1 minus negative 3. What was our first step? Simplify these signs in the middle. Okay, so we have the same sign here, so that can become positive. We add the same signs. So positive 1, bring that down. Positive 1, and then we simplify in the middle. Plus 3 equals question mark. So, see what the number line tells us. We start at positive 1, and we've simplified it. Now we go up 3. 1, 2, 3. So the answer, as you guys know, 1 plus 3 is positive 4. Okay, let's check with our tiles. Okay, so if we have positive 1, so bring down positive 1 tile. Okay, and then we need to take away negative 3 tiles. But we don't have 3 negative tiles to take away, so we need to put them in. 1, 2, 3. So we got them put in, but we can't just put those in by themselves. We have to put in our negative signs. Okay? So we put in our, sorry, not our negative signs, our positive tiles. Okay, so once we got that put in, we're still representing a positive 1. Okay, so now we need to, positive 1, take away negative 3. Okay, so I'm just going to take them away with my pen. So take it away, take it away, take it away. What are we left with? 4 positive tiles. Is this the same answer we got here? Yes, it is. Perfect. So that's a quick little lesson on subtracting integers on a number line. This is the practice work that goes along with that. It's just 2 problems in our textbook, number 3 and number 8, and there's a few parts to those, so they'll take a little while. But get those done and see how you do with them.